Welcome, Tiny Hands Big Dreams, here on the homestead in southern Ecuador. We are doing one of our infamous question and answer sessions, where you ask the questions, we give the answers. Now, we've done these before. If you've written us questions or you're interested, I highly suggest you look through some of our older videos of questions and answers and our lives, which I pay no attention to people's lives. I don't even know that they do them. There's people that I like to watch, and then all of a sudden I go back and I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, you've done all these lives. I've seen zero. And then I still don't watch them. I don't know why, I just don't. We give out a ton of information, but we basically answer questions from people throughout the live. There's a ton there. Go back and watch our lives, watch our other question and answers, because we even see some of the questions that have popped up we have answered before, sometimes in far more in depth, with all sorts of detailed things. And if you really want more than that, we were happy to sell you our time. You make a donation to our coffee link and say, hey, I'd like some of your time, and we can set aside a block of time and we can talk to you one-on-one. Now, if you find our information super useful and it actually is useful to you, or like we answered a bunch of your questions, feel free, if you have the ability, donate to our coffee link. It's in the description. It goes a huge way to supporting us. Also, we get 100% of it. Yeah. YouTube keeps 30%, and they take 4 to 6 weeks to get it to us. If you have no other method, thank you. But if you can use the coffee link, we get 100%. So it actually, all of it comes to us to help to buy boots and things and the house food. Yeah, go this week. So we make $1 to $3 on this video. It is absolutely, in general, not worth our time to do YouTube, except for all the people that do help us, and we are happy to help in return with our knowledge.
Yeah.
That being said, in a specific order, as donated by my wife, very carefully selected and curated in the order that it is, for a reason that we shall not disclose. Questions?
How difficult would it be to source materials for building an earth bag style home, including off-grid necessities in Ecuador?
Hold on, I have to cringe.
Oh, stop.
Okay, I hate earth bags. I'm sorry.
We don't like it.
We don't like it. I think it looks like a sad beehive. You don't get windows. You have a limited size shape. Your whole house is made of plastic and barbed wire, which, I don't know, sort of just poos on the whole earth word that was right there in the beginning. And if, for whatever reason, the plastic degrades in the sun before you get it done, like things do here, the UV kills plastic, then that structure of thin plastic that is the only thing holding your earth together gives up and your house collapses, hopefully not on you, in a spectacular fashion. I also don't know how your exterior actually sticks to it without pulling away with hot and cold cycles and leaving a little path for ants and bugs to get up in between. I don't like it. That being said, you can get barbed wire, any hardware store, any thickness, anything, spacing, whatever else. There's lots of choices. It's really cheap. The actual earth bags, I haven't seen it.
I do know of someone in the northern part of the country who is doing an earth bag house or super adobe house, one of those things, which are similar. So either he's having them imported or they are accessible, like maybe in Quito, which is totally possible.
Yeah.
Either one.
Like, I think you just need like a roll from what I understand of it.
That's
it goes
for
a long
super
way.
Adobe. I think earth bag is different.
Okay.
I don't remember. I think super Adobe is the tube. I'm not sure. If it isn't accessible here, it would be something you could import probably really easily.
Yeah.
As far as off-grid necessities like solar or some other power creation. I don't know.
It seems to be about double the cost for solar stuff here, and selection is limited. There's nothing where we are in the south part of the country. There is apparently someone in Loja that has very limited selection. Cuenca apparently has a bigger store. They're often out of stuff. And again, they have very limited
options.
And everything seems to be about double the cost. So if you bring it in the container, you pay zero duties. You could buy it at whatever price it is in the US.
And we mean like a shipping container, in case you don't know.
Right.
When you move to Ecuador, you get one shipment free of duties, free of taxes, free of all the things. That can be something small. That can also be like suitcases, luggage, things. It can also be a 20 or 40-foot container. So you can bring a lot in, which means you can bring in all of those expensive items without paying any duties
Yep.
to customs.
We bought used solar panels in the U.S., stuck them in the container, brought them in for no taxes. We're poor. Like that's how we roll. You could probably do better now because of all the weird terrorist things. I don't even know the situation going on with that.
It changes so often. I can't keep track.
You could probably import direct from China if you can find a good trusted supplier. I've dealt with a couple, not a lot, and then it's just an importer. I know a couple here. It would have to be, you'd have to come and do an entire conversation thing, and they would charge you something for it, but I'm sure it's vastly cheaper than trying to source it locally, and you could get exactly what you wanted imported direct from China, which is where all the stuff is made.
Yep.
Almost none of it. Victron made in India. Pretty much everything else is China.
Are there any regulations to building on your land, and is getting a permit difficult? No.
We can literally do anything we want.
Yep.
I can go cut down a tree. I can go over there and I can dig a hole. I can put a pond.
We can build a house.
We can literally just do whatever we want. I could flatten this whole mountain. Nobody will stop you.
I mean, people on the other side might be upset about it, but you know.
You can do whatever you want. Yeah, even the septic system. I just went and dug it by hand.
Which is bizarre to me, knowing how things work in like the U.S. and a lot of countries, where there are crazy regulations to doing those kind of things.
No, nothing. Absolutely zero. Now, if the house was bigger, there may be a permit if it's over 140 meters, someone said. Don't know. And then if you're in a more urban area, there may be a permit. Again, I know a nice engineer. Get in touch with me if you're local. He'll draw you up a thing. He'll run it through City Hall. He knows everybody over there. And for like $100, $200 or something dumb, you have your plans, your things, your permit, your process is done. I don't even think there's inspections after the fact. Like you're out.
It's not the level of permits that you would be used to in like US, Canada. It's just not. It's really easy. All right, how are the goats doing?
Goats!
Oh, the little ones, yeah.
Meh.
Goats are great.
Goats are great.
That's great. Yeah, we had a little bit of a, if you don't know, Sally had a little bit of a health incident, scare, concern. For the last, I don't know, like 2 months of her pregnancy, we thought she had a hernia. It was very stressful.
It had every sign of a hernia. All of a sudden, it looked like she pulled a thing. There was a sudden, like...
distending.
It looked like her guts were, like, pushing out through her muscle. She had a bad limp. It was sudden. Okay, so, like, it's a hernia thing, something goes on. We created this crazy bondage thing to try to, like, keep it in to get her through pregnancy. You can't put a goat under anesthesia when she's pregnant.
Well, also you're cutting into, like, right where a baby would be.
Turns out,
very terrifying.
Our final theory on it...
it was an abscess. It turned out it was not a hernia.
It was an abscess.
She went through pregnancy. She gave birth. We're like, okay, we can deal with it. We had a vet come out because he wanted to look at her before like scheduling a surgery. We're thinking hernia surgery. So stressful. And then he just stuck.
He looks at it. He's like, no. He goes, he's feeling it. Like he went to vet school. He has knowledge. He goes,
more than we do.
It's not a hernia. Are you really sure? I asked him like 5 times, and then he lanced it. And we're like,
gross.
That's gross. Anyway, I think it was a snake bite. Sally's a stomper. She likes to stomp things. She probably stomped a snake.
She was in the jungle the day that this all started.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we think.
We thought she got a leg stuck and like pulled, but it could have been a snake. The little bit of venom could have gone in and like hit a lymph node and caused like a hole. There was no holes.
No.
There was no
external.
There's no flies.
Issues.
No maggots. No things.
It was all very internal. It was rough, but she's healed up really well.
She's totally great.
Yeah.
Her little ones are doing great. Bat Goat gave birth to the largest little boy we could possibly imagine. He's huge.
His head is gigantic.
We call him Thunder.
We try to be pretty hands-off with animals and not interfere a lot.
I was one step from getting the winch.
That would need a little gentle interfering. She struggled pretty hard.
She says gentle. She was putting her weight into that little goat's like head.
Little bit. Yeah, everybody's doing great. Everybody's healthy, happy.
And he is bigger at a week than his friends are at 5.
Yeah. So they're
Thunder.
all good.
Thunder.
Who do you recommend for helping someone wanting to move to Ecuador? Can you include their email and WhatsApp phone number?
Help. Okay, help is a vague word.
There's a lot of things that you need help with.
There's different professionals for different areas of that. And depending on who you are, where you're going, what you're trying to do, send us an email.
Yeah.
It's a personalized answer. Send us an email. We'll give you a contact of a person who may be able to help you, depending on what you're trying to do.
It just depends on exactly, where you're moving, what you're bringing, what kind of visa you want, etc.
Yeah.
And that goes for anybody. If you have specific questions you need answered, send us an email. It's easier to be a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
Must-dos before leaving the U.S. Paperwork.
Get all your paperwork in order. Do paperwork that you don't necessarily know you need. There's all the official, your birth certificates, your criminal report, your marriage license. All these have to be notarized, officialized, and apostilled in that order.
A long process.
Don't forget, if you want to get a driver's license, your high school diploma has to go through that process, and possibly your college degree has to go through said process.
Weird. That was an oddball one. I wasn't.
That was an oddball. But if you want a license, you had to have a diploma here to get it. They don't just let anyone have a license. So there's get all your paperwork in order.
Mm-hmm.
It's only valid for 6 months from the date it's issued. Sometimes it takes 3 of those months to get it if you immediately send it back from the time you receive it. If you immediately send it off to have it, apostilled thing, whatever else, which makes your window of moving very tight.
Get it. Literally, and I say this jokingly, but get a giant calendar and mark down the days of okay, well, I got the paperwork here and it's good till here. This one I got here and it's good till here. You have to keep track of it because the chance of getting one of those pieces wrong is high.
I literally went and bought
an entire trip back.
The giant desk calendar.
Okay, I may have just had a meltdown panic one night and you just went to the store. I'm just gonna go get a calendar right now.
I literally drove to Office Max or Depot or whatever.
We had many strange pieces of a very large puzzle.
Which started the red binder of officialness.
Oh yeah.
Start a red binder of officialness.
Have to be red.
Your passport. Make sure your passport has time left on it. It is far easier to do it while you're there in the States.
At least 6 months. I would just make it more because
if it's within a couple years, I would just go ahead and renew the dumb thing ahead of time. Takes a few months.
We are going to have to renew some of our passports in a few months, and it is kind of an ordeal here if you are not near, I think it's Guayaquil, somewhere.
We're not near
any of them. So it is kind of a big deal to get them renewed. It's just a big hassle. So just make sure you have some time. It's one less thing you have to do.
Leave a U.S. bank account open that you can access from overseas without them immediately locking your account down. I remember my stepfather used to travel a lot, and every time he would go and use, I think it was Chase, every time he would use his Chase card in Japan or Korea or something because he traveled for business, and he'd pay for dinner, and then he'd go to pay for the hotel, and nope, fraud alert has shut down your card. Every single.
There's nothing that's more stressful when you're landing somewhere and you're trying to deal with things and pay for things and manage things. Oh. I would say keep a U.S. bank account.
Yep.
Did you say that?
Yep.
Sorry. What was the thing I was just thinking? A VPN.
Yep.
Get a VPN.
Sorry.
Ahead of time because there are plenty of websites that do not allow you to see them when you're in Ecuador, which can cause problems and just be really irritating.
We can't even look at Home Depot in the U.S. or at Walmart.
Right. Yeah, there's a bunch that are silly. Those are not super necessary, obviously, but if you run into that trouble, it's just easier to have it ahead of time.
What was the music one? Keeps blowing us out.
I don't know.
Is it Spotify?
No, I don't know.
SoundCloud? I don't know. There's one of them that oh, you are out of the country. Your services are not valid.
Yeah. The other thing, I was just thinking when you were talking, keep a U.S. Mailing address. Because sometimes you need something. There's also this weird, you have left and then you're in Ecuador, but then there's still things that you may need You may
Yeah.
need to have something shipped there. You may have like a bank card. The bank needs an address.
And they won't send it out of country.
You have to have an address for a bank. Well, you don't want it wherever you used to live because somebody else lives there now. If you have a relative, doesn't matter where in the U.S., just
Yeah. Or a
have
lifelong
some
friend that
address.
doesn't move much.
Yeah, have an address. Thanks, Mom.
Use it for your
Have
bank
an address.
and your things and like whatever is left over. There's always like a trail.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This is a question I don't fully understand what was being asked, but we'll try. Have you gone back to U.S. after container complete or near complete arrival? Why would it be worth it? I don't fully understand the question.
I went back to pick up my son for a visit. It was a very short trip. If what you're asking is, did we like move here with our stuff and then go and spend like 6 months in the U.S.? No.
No, this was a permanent.
We moved, like pilgrims in a wagon, and then the wagon broke and you ran out of supplies. Like I'm thinking Oregon Trail here. I'm going Oregon Trail.
Pretty much what that was.
That's us. We're here. We couldn't move again if we wanted to.
No, so the wagon broke down.
This is where the wagon broke. That's where the town starts.
Yep.
That's how it works. But you could. There's no more, probably the answer to your question, there is no time-related residency necessary. Once you start your visa process for residency, you can come and go as you please.
There used to be some times.
It changed right in process as we were getting ours. And even though ours says one thing on our paperwork, it is officially notated in the government record that we do not.
So, cooking items that we didn't brought, were not necessary or wish we had.
Let's see.
I mean, mostly we did a really good job because that was really important to me.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time researching things, and we spent a good chunk of money buying some things that we knew we were going to need.
Yeah.
And this wasn't just because we were moving here and it wouldn't be accessible. These were things that we needed for life, living off grid, doing what we're doing. And it just happened to be that we wanted them before we moved. We don't have to import them. We don't have to anything later on.
We got like a really cool grain mill.
Meat grinder.
The meat grinder. Both of them are absolutely top notch.
So good.
Totally unavailable here. The only thing that's really available is Chinese knockoffs of meat grinders. And for like grain mills, there's the Corona mill, which is just a little cast iron thing, and you can get it motorized, but it's just the same little
It's
like.
not high quality.
No, you can buy them for $30, hand crank.
I honestly can't think of anything that I'm like, oh, I wish I would have gotten that.
Bring all of the knives for your entire life.
Again, unless you want to have them imported later on.
Sure, which you could totally do.
They're small, you could do that. It's harder with the bigger items.
Cast iron. Bring your cast iron if you ever want to do that. It is difficult, although we've been told by a viewer it is possible to source. But I'm probably not at the level of selection that you could imagine.
No.
Bring it.
I don't have a lot of things that we didn't bring, honestly. We did a pretty good job.
Jars, canning jars, very difficult to come by, if not impossible. We sourced ours used. Most of them all broke. They were used for freezing. They all had fractures in them. It's
but you don't
very
know until
sad.
you go to canning them, and it's a sad day.
So while that was a huge part of our like prepping, planning thing, is we really wanted this huge pantry to be able to store food for like, say, a bad year. We have lost almost all of our jars.
Yep.
If you're moving here and you want to bring us a whole stack of jars, let us know.
Gosh. What is the mixture you use for the walls?
1 part smooge, 2 parts sweat. Yeah.
Pretty much. It is clay, which is not pure clay here. We don't have exactly pure. It is mostly clay. There's some other stuff in it. Sand, the calcium, what is it?
Calcium hydroxide.
Thank you. And the floof. The floof. That's floof.
Floof is you take a chainsaw, and when you're cutting a log, you cut the log, piece falls off. If you cut it long ways, and you take the blade into it parallel and you come down through it, you get these long strip curlicues, which is great fiber. We really needed fiber. We don't have straw. We can't get like all these other things.
There's a lot of other options people use. They just weren't accessible, free.
They're just not here. So we had some like chunks of trees that we weren't going to use, bad, weird parts. And there's some that don't even rot.
Yeah.
I have a chainsaw, so I can quickly make a giant feed sack of floof in like, what, 15 minutes?
Yeah. You did it today.
Yeah.
In a brand new bag.
And then it takes her like a, better part of a week to go through. And that really strengthens the clay, is having that fiber.
Yep. How many goats do you have, and what do you source from the goats? We have 5 adults, 3 babies.
Yep.
3 does currently in milk. And that's pretty much what we use them for, is milk. Obviously they eat. Technically we use them for landscaping, though I don't think they landscape as much as terrorize the world around them. It's pretty much just milk. We don't do cow milk. Eli and I are both sensitive to the cow milk. It does not work well for us. And I'm not well, we can't get goat milk here. Like, it's just not in our area. We got it in Loja. But in our area here, there's just not.
It was pretty good, but not the level of scent-free that we would like.
It was good most of the time. It was fine. But it isn't accessible here, and of course we want to do everything ourselves, so that just
there we go.
Makes sense to us.
Milk.
I don't intend to ever milk adjacent products like ice cream.
Milk derivatives.
I don't intend to ever have them as dual purpose for meat. We will be getting sheep eventually for that. I just think they will do better.
Soulless, brainless creatures they are.
Yeah.
Tasty though.
Yeah, they are tasty. I mean, it's a possibility. I'm not like ruling it out, but it's not the plan.
There is hair sheep that we have seen here, as well as wool sheep. The hair sheep taste much better.
They also don't need the maintenance. They also do better in hot climates.
All the thing.
All right. How many things have gone correctly with your process the first time? I know resiliency is a huge part of any non-plugged-in life, since you can't just DoorDash a new solar panel out there. But I almost feel that you guys might not always see how amazing and skillful you have become at living and adapting. Thank you.
I don't kind. Maybe see that from our...
Because mostly we're just like making something in it.
Feel free to write long, lengthy comments on any of our videos of praise and wonderment. She will read them at night as we sit and eat dinner. It is totally a good time. It will make us smile.
Because sometimes it definitely feels like we're fumbling and failing at things, and like, well, that didn't work, and we have to do that again. And
I want to say we have a pretty solid rate of things work out the first time.
Yeah.
I create things, and they mostly work.
Now I will say, first time, the stuff you're seeing us do here is not all first time things we're doing. We have homesteaded before. We have more experience with the animals and the gardening and the food and things. We've never built a house before.
No.
We've remodeled a house.
Yeah. Like I have done some solar stuff before. I used to install them on buses to make luxury RVs.
So we have some experience going into this.
I was a maintenance guy for many years. I used to build equipment and repair things, so I have that to draw on. But a lot of it is just sort of like we look at it and we're like there's a kiln that's up there that I have to get back to, which we're building a high temperature kiln to burn wood that is scrap to make calcium oxide to make our lime plaster for the walls, which we can't get here. Also, because we want to like toy around in ceramics one day. I have no experience kiln building, but I looked it up and I watched a bunch of videos and I took what I think were all the best parts, going all the way back to Roman times. I think it's going to work swimmingly. Now, I haven't tested it yet.
But the important part is if it doesn't work swimmingly, you will figure out how to make it work.
I will simply look at it, identify the failure, figure out the correct,
I mean, if you want to talk about, there have been some failures. I made a duck pond and it failed miserably. Just miserable failure. That goes back to sometimes you read, you watch other people do something in a completely different environment with slightly different material, and you try to apply them and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
So a lot of what we're doing is just outside of what other people have done.
Like I just built, we have a video coming up soon. I did a big kitchen exhaust hood for over the stove area. I've never built one of these before, but we weren't going to buy one. Also, it wouldn't fit the house. It would have to fit like our roof line.
We have to do everything ourselves.
That has our particular slope and things. Like it would have to be custom built. we're going to have to build it. I have to build it. Oh, poo. And then, so I scrapped that together, and I'm like, okay, that looks pretty good. It's good, strong, things the right shape. It's got the slope. It fits the house real nice. It's even square on the bottom. And then I had to build an exhaust duct that goes out the top. I'm like, okay, so I'll build some exhaust ducting and do a thing and do roof flanges and seal it all up. And I just finished it this morning. I'm like, I had huge anxiety about cutting a hole in my roof and building a thing that I've never done before, but it's done and it's there.
Yep.
And it looks good.
I had all the faith in you. What are your wildest realistic goals for sustaining your life down there that you're working toward? I.e. starting a fabrication shop as a business, bakery to sell hard-to-find XYZ, training ninja vampire bats as letter couriers, etc. I like that. Although I don't really want to train them, little monsters.
They're rather hideous up close.
I'll maybe take like the fruit or the insect bats. We can treat.
I've held them in salad tongs.
Nasty little things.
I don't want to get any closer.
Blech.
I don't think you could come to any sort of reasonable anything with them.
Wildest realistic goals.
I would like, at some point, we need to sell our property. If you need a property, lovely mountaintop property, view of Zamora, gorgeous old growth like wood, water sources. It's beautiful. It just wasn't for us. We need to sell it. When we do sell it, that will be great. It will alleviate a lot of our money concerns. I actually wanted to start a small artisanal neighbor-based chocolate company and do like really high-end chocolates. There's a few different things that we had like on the list.
I mean, I have my own.
She has her own.
How can you say that? Like you have your own. I would like to write. I would like to be paid to write. I would like to write a book. If we're just talking wildest realistic dreams, yeah, that's about it.
She's an excellent writer. Her writings have brought me to tears talking about events that I was literally part of. And yet her descriptive like prose kills me. So yeah, that's
have time.
There's a ton of great bakeries. That's covered. Don't go there, girlfriend.
Oh God.
I know you.
Yeah.
Did you expect any less? You can walk into a bakery here and for 30 or 50 cents or something get an amazing amount of deliciousness.
Jeez. Yeah.
All day long, freshly made everywhere. Like
yeah.
What could we do? There's a bunch of stuff that's like not well served.
It's mostly food related, honestly.
There's a ton of food stuff that we could do. We could bring, foods of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it gets popular. There's a guy that opened a beer pub thing in Loja. Apparently did quite well. Just bringing American style whatever. People are all about that. They're like, that's great. It's a place from somewhere else. It's a different experience, different flavors.
They're very open to that here. I know some people will be like, oh, you shouldn't bring that to a different culture. Honestly, they're really open and they want it.
Also, if you travel the world and you've been traveling the world for many decades, you've noticed that while an American used to be like, oh, you're an American, oh, that's great. This was how the world reacted to you being an American up until Bush. We're going to go Bush. The Bush years. And all of a sudden things started to change. And now people, like, when they show up and then they're like, oh, a business, something, you're like, you're an American. You'd be like, I'm Canadian. Because Americans have suddenly become hated in all the world. However, Ecuador still views America as like a higher caste kind of thing. You are looked highly upon, like, oh, you're an American. You've decided to come here.
Yeah. For
whatever reason.
Okay. I'm moving to Uruguay in 2 weeks. You're the reason I started researching over a year ago. That's so cool. From celebrating the roof to hoping the hens are safe with their nests, hoping to build off-grid there in a couple of years or sooner, my question is, how much do you charge for consulting other immigrants, and what is the most common question you get? Awesome, first of all. I'm glad that we inspired that. That's really cool.
That is very cool. That's exciting. I've never been to Uruguay.
I know nothing about it, really.
I know nothing about it. Keep in touch.
Yeah, please.
Send us the occasional email. If you do videos, send us links. We'll watch them. Heck, we'll link to you. Most common question.
Well, how much do you charge for consulting? That's totally dependent on what you want and need.
Yeah, if you just want to sit down and like have like private conversations, we usually do like $50 for our consultations,
Yeah.
and you get the both of us.
And anything else, it depends on what exactly it is. So if you shoot us an email, we can talk about that.
We were doing where we would show people around for the day and drive around, look at properties, do stuff like that. If you're moving close to us, then we can do something like that. Uruguay is not. But
yeah, especially if you're talking about, since you're wanting to build off-grid, I'm guessing you may want help in that direction, which would be mostly him. Depending on what you need with that. Yeah, just send us an email.
And we'll work out.
And if, I just want to say this to everyone, if you don't get a response to your email, it is not because we hate you. It's because it has landed in spam or some other random folder that Gmail has decided your email belongs in. And I haven't yet found it. And
Google
I am
sucks,
sorry.
and they think they're smarter than everyone, and they're a bunch of tards.
Sometimes I'll go through all of the different like little folder like section things. I'll be like, why is that in there? And I'll have to like bring it back out.
If you work at Google,
sorry,
and you take offense to me calling you a tard, look around your office, point at the tard. If you can't do it, turn the finger around.
Okay. So, what is the most common question you get?
Gosh, I
don't know.
The questions are like random and scattered, and usually sort of like
I don't think there's a
skewed to whoever asked them.
Yeah, I don't think there's a specific. Probably the most common are just like what to bring, what not to bring. Those questions.
Yeah.
We did do a couple videos on exactly that.
Totally worth watching.
Yeah, which again, if you are moving to Ecuador, I still think probably a good bit of it applies. If you are moving somewhere foreign to you, I still think a lot of it will apply.
It's probably like 98% applies.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
But congratulations, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Keep us updated. All right. If you were moving all over again, what household items and personal items would you bring or bring more of? See? Now, usually when we do these videos, I have pre-read these and formulated answers in my head. That is not the case this time. I have been busy.
I usually react off the cuff.
We are fully off the cuff today. You're welcome.
Yeah. Socks.
Underwear.
Socks and underwear. Towels. Sheets.
Looking at her towels behind the camera right now, and it's really sad. They're in weird
People
shreds.
throw rags away for drying the car before they get to the stage that our towels are.
That's so bad.
They're like, oh my God, that like I can't even be seen in the driveway drying off the car with that. It's so bad. That is our towels. We can't find decent
just basically
towels.
linens in general. I don't know. It's just not great here. Yeah, socks, underwear, household items.
I like good socks, thick socks. We like socks with taller things on them. Our socks all have holes in them. They're in really sad shape. There are socks available here, but you're
really just picky. To be honest, the things I would wish we would have brought more of are things we're picky about. You're picky about your sheets.
I like high thread count cotton, period.
It's just
cotton,
not a lot here.
Oh, cotton, almost completely unavailable. And I've asked Ecuadorians, and basically they get cotton shirts when they go to Spain or the States or things. Raincoats. Oh, where'd you get the cool raincoat? Miami.
Why don't we have raincoats here? Why is
it rains like all the time in Loja. It's a rainy place. You can't buy a real raincoat.
No, it's crazy.
But you go to the States, so there's whole stores that just sell like windbreaker raincoat things.
Yeah. Yeah. So probably those things.
Those things. Cotton is incredibly unavailable in shirts. You will only find synthetics. My skin does not like synthetics. All of my cotton is full of holes. All of them. Like I'm running out of shirt.
What is the hardest part of adjusting to a new country that you didn't expect? I mean, I would say the language barrier, but I expected it. So
we expected the language barrier. There's certain cultural things that sort of like the mañana culture. Mañana doesn't just mean tomorrow. It means like somewhere in the future, maybe.
Or not.
Yeah, or I'll just ignore you for a while until. Sometimes you get that.
You know what? I don't think. No, go ahead. If you have something.
No.
No, I don't. I'm struggling here. I don't know. I guess I expected it all.
Yeah. It's sort of it is mostly what we'd expect. The people, at least in this part of the country, are really chill and sort of genuine and sort of like we honestly have great experiences.
Yeah.
Um,
I think if anything, I expected to have more problems.
yeah.
Which sounds weird, but I
No.
expected there to be more dislike of us, if I'm being honest. We definitely had people tell us, expats tell us,
Oh my
how our
gosh.
experience was going to be, either before we moved or right when we first moved. And I very distinctly remember when we were told that, like weeks after we moved here, and I had this moment of like, oh, did we make a mistake?
Oh my gosh. So many people.
Oh, they're just going to screw you out of everything, and they're going to try to take your money, and they're going to this and that, and treat you like crap. And I'm like, oh.
Specifically, people in Vilca were telling me that, like, oh, you'll go to a mechanic and they'll put used parts in your car and tell you it's new and this and that. You got to watch everything. You got to this and that. And you got to argue with them and you have to like treat them like criminals.
I was starting to get real worried. Like, we have made a poor decision. What?
And so you get to choose your own experience a bit. You get to pick the people you work with. We have had the opposite experience.
We also come at it from a different perspective.
Once you get a price in a market, they'll never charge you less than that. Totally false.
Totally false. At least not.
Maybe that person who told me that's the case for them because they're an arse hat.
Well, how did they come into the experience? Did they come in like, well, that's too expensive and I'm not going to pay that much? And
Did they come in with an aloof attitude, looking down on the seller and trying to like, we come in, we treat people as equals, we talk to them nicely, we're polite with them, we become friends. They give us, sometimes they'll just like lower the price of like, I'm just going to charge you less today because like the price went down a little bit and I'll give you like some extra oranges. Or
we have a really good relationship with everyone that we interact with, honestly.
We pay the same or less than the locals of most everything.
Which I was not expecting. So that was a pleasant, it wasn't a difficult thing, but it was something.
Across the board, we've had excellent relations. So bring your correct attitude. Do not bring, as a lot of really rich people seem to do, of the I will talk down to you like a servant kind of thing. Doesn't work out so well. They'll smile to you. They'll sell you a thing, but it's not what you want.
No. How long did the visa/residency process realistically take start to finish? Well, I don't know what the process. I mean, the process starts, like we said, before you move. You get all your paperwork and junk in order, which takes months, honestly. It's not constant work. It's just you got to pay attention to all your little bits and pieces that are out.
It's probably, yeah, you have to plan it all out. It's probably you start at least 3 months before your planned leave date.
Yep.
3 to 4. The visa process is your 6 months of temporary.
No.
3 months?
Well, no, your temporary is 2 years. Your visitor visa.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So your visitor visa is technically for 3 months. You can renew it for another 3 months. Like, technically, it's like 6 months, but I wouldn't guarantee. Like, they could say no for some reason. I can't imagine.
But we're told it's rubber stamp.
So you have 6 months then of your visitor visa.
And if you're doing an investment visa, by that 6 month date is when you either need to post a bond or have a property that is the value of the 40.
You need to have that will, in an ideal world, unlike what we did, well before your 6 month date, because otherwise that gets very stressful because you are technically illegally in the country.
Yeah. And if the property does not have its proper paperwork, that could, they might have to resurvey it. That takes time. There's processing. It could take 6 weeks.
Yep.
It could also take 1 day.
So
things could go swimmingly well, and you can buy a property in a day.
Or things are a giant mess.
It's not the same. Or it's a giant mess, and things have to be resolved.
Yeah.
Or the whole thing could blow out because they can't get the title properly because some neighbor won't sign off on a border forever. And you just have to give up on that property. And like that person and that thing and that whole whatever because they were just lying to you and you counted on them, and move on to something else. So you need time to do that.
There's no experience there.
No!
So anyway, you have your 6 month and then you have your 2 year temporary visa or temporary residency. And then you apply for your permanent residency. And you don't really do anything. Like, honestly, you just, if you have an attorney, a lawyer, they just do it, and you don't do a ton.
Get an attorney. It's not an expensive thing, that is well versed in doing it, that is in Quito.
Have them be in Quito. I think it helps the process along.
If they have to do it in like some other place, they're simply going to have to send things back and forth, and
it takes longer. There's more
or
chances,
travel.
Mess. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like we did that, and it took 6 months. It was supposed to take like a month, and it was really 6 months, and like the lawyer just wouldn't even respond to us for like weeks at a time, and like it's in process. It's in process. It's in process.
It eventually worked out, but it was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
Do you think homesteading in Ecuador is easier than, say, if you were to homestead in the U.S.?
It's different.
If you want to look at homesteading strictly as raising animals and growing food, I would say no. I think there are places in the U.S. you could do so just fine, possibly easier. We have our own difficulties. Everyone has their own, like...
There's the freedom level associated with, like, permits and things and something, and, like...
Most of which, if you're going rural in the U.S., isn't a huge problem. If you're not talking about building a house or anything, like, it depends on what homesteading encapsulates, I guess. Oh, gosh. I will say... The dog's still away? Oh, goodness. I will say that when it comes to raising animals, we were just talking about this actually in relation to people like to homestead in Alaska as like the great place to go live off grid. Listen, I don't get it. If you want to go live as a hermit somewhere in a cabin, that appeals to me sometimes. I get it. If you want a homestead, that's a very hard place. Winters are hard when you are homesteading.
Winters are long in Alaska. Everything is expensive.
We don't have the kind of food input for our animals. So raising animals here, I think, is really easy.
Grass-based animals.
I think all animals are easier than in the winter.
Yes.
Period.
Overwintering animals is difficult and expensive.
Then there are places in the U.S. where you could, weather-wise, kind of have the same experience, but then you've got some weird restrictions and issues in those particular areas. So... Or
you have weather problems, or you have water problems, or you have societal problems, or you have armed bandits coming over border problems.
As far as back to the freedoms, it makes things easier here. We do have decent weather all year, even when it's raining. It's not cold.
We've lived here for how long now?
This property, 3 years. Ecuador, 4.
We've been here 3 years, living in tents. They're not looking good. They're not looking good at this point.
But we've been comfortable.
We have been comfortable in tents for 3 years. And we're not like super hardy, like we're going to go mountaineering in the snow kind of people.
Comfortable.
I have, like a blanket and a half. And I'm totally pleased leaving the windows of my tent open year round.
Oh, yeah. It's lovely. So I think it's...
That part, but that's not all of Ecuador. That's a tiny little strip. And that's a whole other discussion of like climate maps and altitudes.
Like, you're comparing, and I get the comparison, but you're comparing Ecuador to the U.S., both of which have huge ranges in climates, culture, everything.
Everything.
So, what's one thing you wish you handled before leaving the U.S.? I think we did everything. It was very complicated. Again, there's a massive calendar of things. We had a very convoluted, if you don't know the story, we've also done story times about our move. Those are fun.
Those are good.
In retrospect.
We didn't have anything that we had to like, oh, we forgot this and had to go back for.
We left before our house sold, legally. That was messy.
That's a story.
But we couldn't have done any other way. That was just the way things panned out.
You have to sell everything and leave on a flight that you booked sometime before.
There was,
But the house sale fell through, but we still have all the tickets that we'd already had to buy.
We didn't have the money to buy them again. This was all very tight. So yeah, I guess I wish, like at the time, I wish we had been able to finish that process before we left.
Yeah.
But it all went perfectly fine. We still got the money. Everything was great. there were no problems. I can't really look back and say I regret anything that we didn't do.
Yeah.
I think we did everything.
Yeah.
What banking setup worked best? U.S. bank only, local bank, or both? Both. Everything. Both everything.
You need a local bank. And there's a bunch. I don't know that one is any better than the other. You need a U.S. bank that you can log into and do things.
And especially if you have any money coming from the U.S., like if there's any job, any business, anything. Now, when we moved, I almost closed my bank account because why did we both need a bank? We never had a joint bank account. We just always had separate, and we just kept them separate. Yeah. It was easier. And I almost closed it, and then honestly, I just ran out of time, and I'm like, meh, whatever, I don't care. And we've ended up using it because we never imagined having the YouTube and things, which now we can use my bank account as well, and that.
Yeah. So
having both is useful.
Yeah. And we could do an international wire transfer if we had money to do so. The little bit that we get from donations in YouTube hits our U.S. bank, which then I can take out of an ATM here.
Yeah. Now mine's a credit union, so I can't do that, but I know most banks you can. Yeah. I will say, I'll just throw this out, Western Union is also a good way to get money from the U.S. to here. There is a small fee, but it is less than most bank fees, or equal, depending on how much you're sending.
And it exists here in a real sort of sense of like, there's a lot of places you can go.
There's Western Union everywhere.
And they'll just hand you cash from the receipt.
Yeah, which is good to know. It took us a while to figure that out.
Yeah.
Is healthcare better to get through private insurance, public system, or expat plans? I didn't even know there was an expat plan.
I didn't know there wasn't either. I would say it's probably better just, if you have the money, just pay cash.
Now, I guess I would say unless you are of an advanced age and you know you have more or like more medical needs that might be more expensive, you might want some sort of insurance. Well, you might. People have. I've actually talked to people in expat groups who say it is better. If you have medication that you need that is expensive, if you have some of that might end up making sense for you.
I don't know how much those plans are, what they include, I know the plans in the U.S.
system.
Yeah, there's the public system.
Which everyone is basically part of.
Which is basic, but it's there. But honestly, for the amount that you would pay every month just to go to a doctor, get prescriptions, it's all very cheap.
So cheap.
Honestly, just paying cash for everything, you're at a fraction of what you would pay for a normal healthcare plan. And you can just go wherever you want, to whoever you want, and go to the next person down the street. No, there's a specialist over
here. And
well, how much is that doctor appointment? Oh, it's $30. Like,
go get an X-ray, pay for it's
$20. It's really cheap. How much is the MRI? Oh, it's $40, $50 or something.
So cheap. Yeah. What are 3 things the U.S. does better or is better for? What? Sorry, my brain failed. What are 3 things the U.S. does better or is better for, and the same for Ecuador? 3 things the U.S. does better. Okay, listen. We try not to be anti-U.S. Currently, I'm just going to say it. I don't think the U.S. does things better right now. I think the U.S. is a bit of a problem that needs solving. I'm sorry, I said it. Education system? No, it's different. It's different.
So we get into things that affect your life, your food, your education, your housing, your economy, toxins in the environment. Everybody's sort of all over the place with it. The U.S., I think, has gotten way off deep into everything has become bureaucracy, processes and things and permits and stuff. I mean, we're only a couple hundred years behind England, and oh my God, they're heading down the toilet with it.
I'm trying to actually come up with the answer. 3 things the U.S. does better.
I will say, when you go to buy something here in Ecuador, the high likelihood that any brand you're looking at is fake.
That's true.
And when I say the high likelihood, it's like 99%.
So
Nike is not Nike. It's just sewn on.
I guess in that instance, yeah, if you're looking at brand names, there is better, consistency? I don't even know.
The jean guy has a whole stack of jeans, and they're clearly identical, stacked from the same seamstress, put together, and he's flipping through them, and every label is different. Which brand did you want? And that's sort of how things are here. It's really difficult if you want the actual brand name product and not the Chinese lookalike to get that. So there's a terrible problem with that.
So let me look at it this way. No, I don't think the U.S. I mean, we left the U.S. for a reason. Like, yes, we came to Ecuador for a reason. We also left the U.S. for a reason. I will say, as the person who cooks the food, obviously the U.S. has far more variety. It is simply, like, that's just what it is. A variety of everything, but I'll think specifically in food.
Sure.
The variety of food is obviously vastly better.
Yep.
I also think that the quality of the food, honestly, is better overall in the U.S. Not saying everywhere, and not saying everywhere in Ecuador is bad, but just the overall quality of food available is better. It's also a bigger country, so
it's a bigger country with higher dollars per thing spent. Prices are very different. A lot of stuff here is local. When there's a great kerfuffle and systems go down, there's still some food here because it's locally produced. While it's not the level of quality you might expect, you can still get animal feed here. Why? Because it's produced locally. It's not shipped in sometimes from somewhere else.
There is much better already in place local food systems in Ecuador. In the U.S., I mean, we all sort of experienced that when things stopped being available, everyone just went, eh! Like, I can't.
Everywhere ran out of toilet paper. Everywhere ran out of meat.
We recently in Ecuador went through a month of protests where roads were closed and things were not available. Like, available meaning they weren't being shipped and moved throughout the country or imported into the country, all of this. You know, it didn't really affect a lot of people that much.
There was a little less at the market. Avocados were slightly more expensive.
But it didn't affect that much. I know if something like that happened in the U.S.,
oh my God.
Oh my God. So bad.
Well, it's like there was a thing talking about Cisco, and basically the lion's share of all the restaurants basically are just who can cook Cisco food better. And that's why all the food tastes the same. And that's why it all tastes bad. And the level of quality has just gone down. Is everybody's just rehashing varieties of Cisco frozen foods for everything, every restaurant. You don't get that here. There's not
the major corporation conglomerate issues as much. I'm sure there's to some degree, but it wasn't a very good answer, but honestly we couldn't come up with.
Yeah. All right, let's do a few more.
Okay. Why did you both choose to move to Ecuador instead of anywhere else in the world? Did you research other countries? And if so, what did Ecuador have above them? Also, if you had to leave Ecuador for some reason and you could choose anywhere else to relocate to, where would you choose and why? Ooh. Okay. Realistically.
That's a big question.
It's simple. Well, the first part is Ecuador. I don't know. Realistically, we didn't research other countries. And I know people are going to be like, well, you missed other. It's fine. We're happy.
We researched the shit out of the U.S.
And when this is not going to work.
There was a massive spreadsheet that every time we'd look at a place, another item, qualification got added to the spreadsheet because, oh my God, that's a showstopper, deal breaker. That's there's no way we're living with that kind of crime, that level, that government and permitting process.
Again, a lot of it was also you're still under the umbrella of U.S. Permits and regulations and politics.
You will be forced to do this.
It is
your children have to do this.
Something we wanted to be a part of.
You must take this.
So we didn't choose Ecuador based on. You came home one day and you were like, "Hey, so Ecuador," and I'm like, "Where the hell is Ecuador?"
So the U.S.
That's it.
Got blown out with the top actually was Tennessee.
No, not at that time.
No,
we were in Washington. We didn't have a freaking clue what we were doing.
Oh no, that came later.
We were just lost.
Anyway, Tennessee was Northeast Tennessee was about the best we found in the U.S. for what we wanted.
We eventually found that,
which we really loved.
We spent 2 years there. It was great. You were still under the thumb of U.S.
Yeah,
and all of those things. It has also gotten worse there since we left. In some ways, because it was one of the last good places, which
it started, and it was either I can't even remember what started it. It was either Crystal.
It was Crystal.
Okay.
You came home
Crystal.
from working with Crystal, and you're like, "So Ecuador," and
Hi, Crystal.
Thanks. Thanks for telling me about Ecuador. You wouldn't be here otherwise.
There was that, and then the only other Ecuador point of knowledge that I had was the whole kerfuffle with Julian Assange, and the fact that they had given him refuge in their embassy in London because, oh my God, the U.S. was literally just trying to kill him. He made them look bad by simply telling what they did. The U.S. government is an evil, evil organization. I have no reservations about that. I'm not going to go on.
No.
But they gave him refuge against the biggest player in the world under horrible threats and economic sanctions and all sorts of things that they don't even talk about. They took heat because he was
Basically,
simply
to do the right
a
thing.
publisher to do the right thing.
Right.
And I have mad respect for any country that will step up like that for somebody who literally is just trying to tell about the dark things for the good of humanity. That's my other point of data. And Crystal. Hi, Crystal. We like Crystal.
I had no information.
And she just sort of
Ecuador.
And
I'm like, okay, well, I got nowhere else. Like, we don't have a better answer.
Yeah.
So I started researching, as I do, and looking and learning and things. And we fell down a rabbit hole of Ecuador, and
there may be other places that are just as lovely. My friend Steve found a lovely little town up 5 hours north of us that he said is idyllic and wonderful, and it's closer.
That's still Ecuador.
Yeah, closer to a big city. But I'm just saying,
oh yeah,
there could be other places around.
Now, a lot of why we chose Ecuador, I mean, why we decided it. I mean, we didn't choose it as much as it chose us, like a good dog. Good dog, or a goat. But the reason we were like, okay, yeah, we will move there is there's a lot of personal freedom. That's a huge one. That's probably the biggest one. That's the permits. That's the just be a decent human being and nobody really cares otherwise, honestly.
You can pretty much do whatever you want.
As long as you're a good person and you don't hurt people, and we're all good. The weather, the climate. There is some larger... So not just climate, but weather patterns, weather changes.
If you look at the worldwide hurricane, cyclone, typhoon, you're going to die by water and wind map,
there's just nothing.
South America's got a buckeye. It's never happened. They don't have it. What do we get? We get earthquakes.
Yep.
There's volcanoes in the north part of the country. Not here. Not here.
Won't affect us.
So when we look at natural disasters, we look at, say there's tsunamis. We're
on the other side of the Andes, which means we're
also at 1,000 meters of elevation, which puts us even out of kind of the mega tsunami risk, even the world-ending ones.
Yeah, we didn't just choose Ecuador because I think there are places in Ecuador that are a terrible choice for many reasons. We chose our little area of Ecuador specifically for all of those.
Crime is abysmally low here.
Yeah.
It is.
Even recently.
It's even recently. It's unheard of. People are friendly. You can buy land for cheap.
Oh yeah, the cost of living is actually reasonable.
Yeah. So no, we did not research thoroughly every other country of the world.
But we researched
there
this
may
one.
be places, but we researched this one, and honestly, it looked really good. And we got here and we're like,
and if we had researched this one and it hadn't worked out, and we'd been like, no, these points aren't good, we would have continued the search. We just happened to not need to continue it. If we had to leave for some reason, I'd just cry. Who's gonna make me leave? Sorry. I'm not leaving.
How would we leave?
You drag me. I'm not leaving.
Ride a goat.
Okay, but in a theoretical world, if we had to leave,
right?
And we had to choose another country, honestly, we'd just have to do the research again.
Yeah.
I'm not going to the U.S. I'm not going to Canada. I'm not going to Europe. Most of Europe. All of Europe? Probably all of Europe. I'm not going to Africa. I'm not... Oh, man. I think probably stay in South America, if I'm being honest. But that's got issues, too.
It does. Ooh. It does. Everywhere has issues. You basically have to find a pocket.
Yep.
And there's pockets that exist. Southern Ecuador is a pocket.
Northeastern Tennessee is a pocket. It's just that you are still within.
Our friend was down in Argentina, and it was lovely and things until the volcano woke him up with sulfuric acid gases. It almost killed him. Twice, 3 times? I don't know. And then somewhere else and somewhere else.
I don't know.
So you get your little pockets of good. We have found a pocket of good. We don't have to lock the car. We leave the keys in it at night. Like we don't have worries. We don't have stress. The kid can go anywhere he wants. We let him go in town. I don't care. People let their little kids ride in taxis and buses by themselves here.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
So, honestly, if we had to move to a different country, I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to think about it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like it here.
Dear Ecuador, please don't kick us out.
I'll tell you, when we got permanent residency, that was a big...
Because we don't have a second plan.
There's no... I mean, I guess they could still kick us out, but probably not if we don't do anything wrong.
They could kick it all non-red. Like
they could. I don't think they
like
will.
the U.S. government may be suddenly doing like everybody who's not like a natural citizen gets to go.
I don't see the current president doing that though.
The current president,
he's just
of
kicking
Ecuador,
out the
actually
criminals.
just doing an impressively good job.
Well, you're gonna upset so many people by saying that. It's
On a world stage, you have to be a world player. He's a world player. He's playing that game. That is the game. And I don't care, like, you know, you could put Gandhi up there. But here's the thing. If you're not the world player to interface with the other world players, who not all are nice people, you have to be cunning. You have to be smart. You have to...
You can't just be a nice guy always. I'm sorry. You gotta play the game. It'd be cool if nobody had to, but that's not how it works.
Really good at playing that game. So far, I have respect for him and how he plays that game. Phone die?
No, it's just stuck. I don't want to talk about it. There we go. It's having a stuck moment. We're fine. Did you experience any scams during your move? What should others watch for?
Don't deal with gringos.
I mean, except for us. Deal with us.
Beware the other gringos.
Honestly, the only problems we had were with other foreigners. Truly, the only problems that we had. Legitimate, like, Ecuadorian scams, not a one. I mean,
Well,
I think they tried
our
to, like,
landlord, who is a lawyer of the house we rented in Loja, he's not a dishonest person.
He doesn't care that much about being honest, though. It is not moral imperative to him to be honest.
It's like he's just trying to screw us, but it's like a legitimate like hustle. It's not like he's super nefarious about it.
When we talk about scams, the only one I think about is when you went to get, I think it was the Western Union, and he wanted the 50-cent tip or the 20. Was it a quarter? No, it was a quarter.
Oh yeah. So you go to get the Western Union, which like there's no fee for, like it's all done. It's paid for in the computer. Like you pay it ahead of time. And he's like, oh, like you, because he knows I'm from the U.S. and like they have like U.S. money on the window because they collect all the bills. And he's like, oh, do you have like a quarter? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, oh, can I see it? And I hand it to him and he goes, thanks. What the shit did you just do? He's like, it's a tip.
What?
He has learned about tipping culture from U.S. videos
He's never
or the
gotten another
news.
quarter.
I'm like, what? And he's like, I could have demanded it back.
But I mean, that's what I'm like. That's the level of scam.
I think the next time I went in there and I'm like, I'm not giving you a quarter. He's like, they don't tip here.
No.
So when you do, it's like a huge deal. Use it sparingly and in small amounts. When you spill shrimp juice in a cab, tip the driver.
Just a lot and just leave really quietly.
Thanks. Here's an extra couple
I'll figure
bucks.
it out later. I would say the only thing is kind of knowing how much taxis should cost, especially at the airport, because they know you have no other option.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's specifically because we're foreign or if they'll just do that to anybody and see if they can get away with it. I'm guessing they will. They just thought they could get away with it with us because why not? So know how much taxis should cost. Talk to someone in that area
Before you go.
Yeah, because it'll be different for different.
They'll show you up a laminated card with prices and things. But you know, I've had this happen in like India and Pakistan as
yeah,
well.
it's not specific to here.
It's not specific to here.
No.
It's a taxi cab scam.
Yeah.
If the taxi cab doesn't turn on his meter when you get in the cab, he's going to ask for more when you get somewhere.
Otherwise, why would he be doing that?
So then you'd be like, how much for the ride? And he might say a number. If you're in Loja and it's more than $3, you'd be like, you should turn the meter on.
Because it should be very, very, very cheap.
And he'd turn the meter on. It'd be like $2.50. That's a scam. Watch out for that scam.
Again, we're not talking a lot of money.
Yeah.
But still.
But a lot of things here in Ecuador, you negotiate afterwards, and it drives me insane.
Or you get like
the mechanic was always annoyed that I would ask him like, oh, how much is this going to cost? And he's like,
oh no, just do it.
He does it, and then like he's like, it's this much, and like I can try to argue about it.
It's very strange for us.
But there's a lot of things that are like you just do it, and then like you argue back and forth over how much that should have been. But also everybody has sort of an innate knowledge of what it should have cost, so you have like a level playing field unless you're a foreigner, and then you don't. And I always ask prices up front, and then I stick to whatever agreement I've made, and that is sort of different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do one more.
That's it.
And then we got to move on in our life.
Yeah.
We will have to do another video or two. There are a lot of questions. They're good questions.
If you have absolute pressing needs to have things answered, get a hold of us, buy an hour of our time. We'll go through whatever you need.
What was the most annoying logistical obstacle during the first 60 days? Okay, we can't talk about our 60 days because I'll get angry. It has other, it's specific to us problems.
We will name names. People will be butthurt.
Ooh, it would be fun if we name names. Or some of you may already know. But if you put aside our specific issues, I think
putting the container somewhere was a bit of a pickle.
That was over 60 days though. Oh, maybe it was.
It was on the outside.
I don't know. Listen, I don't remember. It was years ago.
Finding a place to rent.
I would say if we just back it up, like the very first thing.
Yeah.
We didn't have SIM cards for our phones, so trying to communicate with anybody in that first little bit of time, and then we got one SIM card for your phone but not for mine, so if you were going somewhere, I like have no communication to anyone anywhere in any way, which was logistically really difficult.
Because of Ecuadorian law, only 20 will give a foreigner a SIM card, so you have to a TUENTI 20, only they will do it, so you have to go find the 20 office and you buy the SIM and you pay your $8 and you get your monthly plan.
Which may be changing because I think 20 is going away, so I'm not sure.
I think they're going to go out of business.
But you have to figure that out ahead of time, honestly, because if you land, we landed, we couldn't communicate well enough where our Airbnb was with the taxi and the thing, and it was just this giant mess.
We couldn't find it.
It was just a mess.
If you're doing an Airbnb, ask them to go and stand 30 meters in front of it and take a picture of the front of it and put an arrow to the door that is theirs,
please.
Because it could be a building and it could be like the third floor,
or it's around the
and
back,
there's a hallway, or it's on a street that's next to the main street and you don't even see over there,
or the street that you couldn't really even drive up and down because it was so freaking steep. Things that was honestly for me just like the most stressful, was just landing and having that like kerfuffle.
Yeah.
60 days was, I think it was.
Your Airbnb will be poorly situated with kitchen utensils, pans, and knives.
Or light, or heat, or... I think it was just trying to get around. Because, and this may be specific to us, because we don't like to eat out a lot, we wanted to be able to cook food, not having a good kitchen to work with, and only having taxis made it really difficult to go provision for food and then come back and cook, and all of that was
the
really
US
hard.
Where taxis are retardedly expensive, taxis here are plentiful and cheap and everywhere because a lot of people don't have cars.
Yeah, so they're easy to get.
You get it, you just go and like wave your little handy. It's sort of a Third Reich thing. You just do a little wave, and then a taxi will like honk and pull up, and you can go anywhere in a town for a couple dollars. Unlike trying to get from the airport in Florida to the local coffee shop and back, which could, by the time you get that in coffee, you could be at $100.
It's true.
To get a coffee.
So taxis are here, but they're not gentle often with you or the things that you have bought.
They're Johnny Racers. Gosh. You have to pay extra for them to drive slow.
And
which I don't know why. The meter just clicks off more, and they get more money out of it. But you actually have to ask them to like,
slow down.
I am old. My bones hurt. Please drive slow. Or make up some story about you have bladder problems. I don't know.
Anything. I think you blamed me a lot. No, like whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, it
go slower. We also learned to look at the tires of the taxi and decide whether they were going to be a racy taxi or not. And we're pretty good at it.
They got the little low pro tires, and they got the little spikes on the side fenders
No,
and
not
the
that one.
stickers.
I
You don't
remember
want that
completely
taxi.
just saying no to one guy. He's like, but I'm like, no,
No.
not you. What else was hard in the first 60 days? I don't remember the first 60 days that well.
Generally, the old dudes in taxis were better bets.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be totally reasonable about it. Getting around was a bit of a pickle. Like I said, that there's a great like bus and taxi system. It's easy.
Yeah.
There's
I think like anytime you move, no matter whether you move into a different country or a different city, because we've done that too, there's just figuring out where things are.
There's no okay. So normally, like if you move to a different place in the normal world, you go to the Google and you look up
world.
like this is outside the normal world. We like that. And then you're like, I need to find this and that in a hardware store, to something in a paint store. I don't know what you're looking for, right?
Then you go to Google Maps and you search and you
and
find
there's
and you go.
nothing
There's
here.
nothing here.
They just don't use it. You just have to know.
Or you have to ask people, and then
You have to ask someone. So you basically need a friend here, or somebody who's willing to just answer all of these. Like, hey, I'm looking for a blank. Oh yeah, go here, go here, go to this street. There's a guy there. Talk to him.
I love Ecuadorians. They are not good at giving directions.
There's two things they don't do well. They don't give
up?
directions, and they can't back up. As a rule,
It's just
like 80%. They just even professional drivers, they'll back off a cliff before they'll back up in a straight line. And then directions, I've asked store owners like where to get a thing. They're like, oh, this other store. I'm like, where is it? And they're like, oh, it's like down there and like 2 blocks over. And I'm like, you've been here for 30 years in this store. I can see the other store from here. I found it eventually. I can literally see it from inside your store. And you think it's like 2 blocks further the other.
I don't know what it is. So yeah, we did a ton of just wandering in circles in Loja.
Or send me a map point, and they'll gloss. They just, the younger generation does a little better, but the older ones just sort of like map point. Like, yeah, like a map and then you show them a map and they'll turn it upside down and they'll look at it and they'll zoom in and they'll zoom out. Then they'll tell you somewhere totally wrong.
So you have to be more patient when you are trying to figure out where things are. You know, what stores you want to go to, hardware stores, things, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You just have to wander around. You have to be a bit more patient.
Be really nice to people. Be like, hey, can you help me? I'm looking for this thing. Say it in Spanish. That helps. And generally, even like the cashier at whatever store, be like, oh yeah, well there's this place over here, this and that, or I'll go ask somebody and I'll tell you. Yeah. People are happy, and then
they're really nice about it.
Usually, finding a thing is a journey of dot to dot to dot, and eventually, you get to the right place. Mm-hmm. That takes getting used to.
Yeah.
But then once you know it's there, like you're golden.
Then
right?
it's there.
It's there.
Yeah. Once you make the connections with the people and the places, and it's easy.
Yeah.
It just takes time.
It takes time. All right.
All right.
This video has gone on far too long. Thank you for watching. We will do more in the future. Again, if you absolutely have to have something answered, get a hold of us, and we'll do so.
Post haste.
Post haste. Thanks for watching. We'll see you for the next one.